Hey, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Sharice. I help Black men and women heal from trauma and toxic relationships. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things to talk about, how to thrive in America. And I'm going to be going through 5 tips that I think will help you thrive no matter what is going on in this country. Number 1, stop trying to save everybody. Okay? I want you to focus on yourself. And this is macro as well as micro. I do think because of where we are in the totem pole in America, in the world, that Black women can really empathize with the plight of other people. But now more than ever, always it should have been, right? But now more than ever, I think it's really in our best interest to focus on our group, to focus on other Black women, to uplift, because when Black women are good, most people are likely going to benefit from us being good. And so that's the macro level, right? Focus on Black women issues. The micro level, I would say, is in your personal life. Figure out who is it absolutely necessary that you take care of, who is it absolutely necessary that you have to help. And typically that's just your children, okay? Who else you got to help, okay? Maybe an elderly parent that you're taking care of. But besides that, who do you absolutely have to help? Because let me tell you, I've worked with a lot of Black women across a lot of different experiences. That man living in your house, you do not have to help him, okay? That cousin back home, you do not have to help them. Like, really identify who is it absolutely necessary that you help at this point in time. Because what I'm talking about is giving from an overflowing cup, thriving. If you are not in the position to be helping people, saving people, putting on the cape, as they say, for other people, please put it down, put yourself first, prioritize your needs so that you can be good before you're taking care of anybody else. If it's just your children, make it just your children. And even then, I have a whole other video about how sometimes you have to say no to your kids. Sometimes you're not paying for that thing or giving them all this space and time to take up after school because you need some of that time to do other things. I'm not saying do not prioritize your kids. Kids didn't ask to be here. It is our responsibility as parents to take care of them and make sure their needs are met. And I would say even to give them some opportunities that would help them be better in life. But there is balance. Figure out what the balance needs to be in your life so that you can do things that are important to you while taking care of the people who absolutely need you versus ones that can figure out by themselves. Okay. Number 2 is eliminate stress. I used to say reduce stress, but then I watched this video, I think it was on Instagram, a little reel of a Black woman talking about, no. That reduce stress thing, that hasn't been working. You need to get rid of the stress. And I've been seeing a lot of ads for the Apple Watch. I don't have an Apple Watch. This is like a bootleg thing that's just for steps. But in terms of like eliminating stress, I think often of people that are absolutely connected to the endless notification, the endless reminders that you don't have enough time, that you need to do things. Get rid of it. Why do you even have this expensive Apple Watch, girl? Because we're already so connected to our phones. Turn off the notifications, right? So this is the micro level of the small little things you can do in your routine in your life that can just get rid of some of that stress. No notifications for news needs to be on. You don't need those updates. Like, you don't need any of those things. Take those things off and see if you see any improvement in like your physical reactivity, responding to people and things. Bigger level than that is if your job is giving you stress, if your man is giving you stress, because y'all be having man that's not your man that's not really a man, all those things. If you are experiencing stress from a particular person or situation, figure out a way to extract yourself from it. I do think we can do anything for a time, right? Like, let's say you really are working 2 jobs, but it's going to be for 3 to 6 months, or it's going to be for the next 2 years, and you have a plan to pay off this or do that. But if you are just living in a constant state that's like endless chronic stress, you have no plan to leave the job, right? You've been there 6 years. You have no plan to advance anything, to change anything. Now is the time when you really have to look and see, do I really think the best years are ahead of me with the way I've been going? Or do I need to eliminate some people from my life? Do I need to eliminate some responsibilities that I'm taking on that they don't even belong to me? Why are you doing this to yourself? Because I will say, even though we acknowledge that there is this societal pressure, there is the patriarchy, there are all these things we cannot control. You can control how you wake up in the morning. It doesn't have to be aggressive. You can give yourself an extra 10 minutes if you need to just look at the ceiling. Or, as I would encourage, find an actual space that feels like solace and peace that you can spend time with God. You get to choose how you wake up in the morning. That is not something that the elite people, the racist people can control. That is something that you in your day-to-day life can make a part of your routine. Getting rid of the stress. Figure out what it is that's stressing you and eliminate it. Number 3 is figure out what you really want from life, from the people in your life. I do not think we as women definitely ask ourselves enough, what do I want? What do I really want? What was that childhood dream? What is this thing that, I had an idea about, but I haven't thought about for a while? Or maybe you've never asked yourself, what do I like? What do I want? How do I want to spend my time? What do I envision doing with my downtime? Now is the time. The time is always now. We live in the present moment. But ask yourself now, what do I want? And what would it take to get there? I love working backwards from envisioning the lifestyle, and then what would you need to do, or how much money would you need to make to create that? Anything is doable. I do not think we have ideas that we cannot bring to fruition. It's just about doing things in a certain way. Sometimes you might not know how to answer these questions, but there are journal prompts, there are, things on the internet, workbooks, all that stuff. You can go and talk to somebody so that you can explore what it is that you really like. I love taking my clients back to what they really enjoyed in childhood and figuring out what's the adult version of this fun experience idea that they had when they were little girls. My number 4 is make the time. And I have it as a separate thing because I often hear, I don't have the time, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I'm saying nobody can do it for you. You will have to say no to certain people. You will have to disappoint certain people. But what's most important is you taking care of you. If you know that you need to do your 30-minute walk in the morning, make the time. If you know that you haven't seen your friend in 2 months, make the time, right? Time is all made up. It's just this arbitrary thing. You put it on the calendar, you figure out how to put it on your to-do list, you figure out where it might fit, you figure out what you have to remove, who you have to say no to. You make the time. Make the time for you. All of this is for you, and you are the most important. I know if you have kids, you want to say they're the most important, but I love using the example of if you're on an airplane, you're going to say your kid is the most important, and you're going to put the oxygen mask on the kid first, and then you pass out, and then your kid don't have a parent. Get it together. You have to put yourself first. You have to prioritize yourself. You have to put the mask on you first before you can help anybody else. Figure out a way to make the time. And I think part of this is adopting a new mantra for what does it mean to make time? What does it mean to put myself first? How do I feel about that idea? Girl, if these are foreign concepts to you or it makes you uncomfortable, please, lots of other videos on my channel for you to explore self, for you to figure out what's important to you, for you to create a schedule that feels doable, even if it's challenging in some ways, but that are satisfying and fulfilling for the life you want to live. I'm not saying your whole life is going to be different in a year. I know there's whole videos like that, but I'm saying if you change your day-to-day living, your schedule, your to-do list, you will see change in your life in a period of time, okay? And my last one is educate yourself about things like finance, anti-Blackness, education, spirituality, God. If you have no relationship with God, I mean, even if you don't believe in God, I think seeking solace and peace is a very important part of being a spiritual being, having a human experience. That is super important that we find the quiet, that we speak the language of God, which is silence, that you learn how to communicate with a higher power, how to feel connected with something greater than yourself. And maybe it is diving deeper into Christianity and exploring different religions, but maybe it's figuring out what is a spiritual practice that feels really good to me. Ask yourself, do some research, figure it out. If you need to get educated, most of everyone do not need to go back to school, but if there's a point in time when you need to pivot to something else, when you need to switch jobs or whatever it is, make sure you get the resources that you need. You educate yourself. They are out there. You might have to dig a little deep to find them, but they are out there for people that are really invested in changing their life. If you need to unlearn anti-Blackness, look at the playlist on my channel about videos to empower the Black community. If you need to learn about finance, any one of these reputable sources online can give you some information about the bare necessities, the basic essentials on what to do to become financially free, what it is that you need to do to build wealth, how to become a saver instead of a spender, how to make more money than you need. Do some research, because that's one of the things that will help the Black community so much, like you getting your money right. Figure out a way to get it done. Dive deep, find people that are also trying to advance the community, okay? Let me know if you have any other tips for how Black women can thrive in America, okay? Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Please share this video with a Black woman who you would love to see thrive, and thank you for watching.